Hey everybody, I'm Sam.
I'm Caleb.
And I'm Will.
And we are Working Title.
Dragon wings.
Dracaris. Khaleesi.
Rar. Valor Iris.
Rar.
Guys, we are back. It is that time. Game of Thrones, The House of the Dragon, Episode 2.
This is the title here.
Episode 2.
Whenever
Episode
it
2. Welcome back, Sam.
Back from vacation.
Back from the
video I
mines.
sent didn't make it through the signal in the mountains. I was with the children of the forest. The storm is coming. Last on, a fight for the throne. Viserys with Miss Hightower. Corlys Valerian and his wife, a former Targaryen. Rhaenys.
And Daemon.
Damon.
The demon of this world.
Daemon soft dick Targaryen.
Nice.
Oh my god.
My personal favorite.
My personal favorite.
So guys,
Soft dick.
if you like this reaction, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're excited for this show and you want to stick around for more. Check out the Patreon if you want to get some of our early content for some of our other shows. We're going to be watching a new show coming out soon. I don't know when we're going to be announcing that, but stick tuned for that. We also got a couple movies dropping this month, so check that out. Also, just go support the show. We do not own it. Support HBO in whatever way you can, and then come back and watch your boys. We're going to punch it.
Bow! Yes! Keep the same theme, my guy.
A familiar sound.
Where are we?
I don't know what this is.
What? Is it Valeria?
I don't know, but that was fucking awesome.
I liked it a lot.
I don't know what's going on, but I'm hyped.
I don't like the rivers of blood, though.
No, I like it. I like it.
Oh!
I like that a lot.
Oh, Crab Man. Yo.
Oh!
Oh yeah, they said the crabber guy has.
Crab feet. No,
Horrible
he's
ways
still
of
awake.
torturing
He's still
people.
awake. No. Why does it look like Ryan Fitzpatrick?
It did.
Ryan, no.
I want to know what is to be done about my ships and my men.
The Crown will compensate you for your ship and crew and make an offering to the men's
I
family.
don't want compensation.
Oh, blood.
I am not prepared to start a war with free cities.
These pirates are not the free cities.
Who do you think provides them with their ships
Damn.
and tender?
Damon.
None of its history, my lord.
What reason does the crab feeder have to fear us? The king's own brother has been allowed to seize Dragonstone and fortify it with an army of his gold cloaks. Daemon has squatted there for over half a year.
I have active boys. I've sent envoys to Pentos and Volantis.
You have dragon riders, father.
Cool. A lot of them.
The air speaks.
Send us.
Yeah.
More time,
I'm so
boys.
for it.
It isn't that simple. Runera.
It would be a show of force.
Bro.
At least the princess has
They
a
only
plan.
showed 2, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot more than
Yeah.
that.
Why don't you take the princess to see about the new King's Guard posting, Lord Commander?
Give her a little stepping stool.
Or
Sir
maybe-
Desmond Callan. A fine night, princess.
Maybe the Dornish guy.
Step forward,
Yeah.
Sir Desmond. While traveling through the King's Wood on his way to King's Landing, Sir Desmond recently brought a would-be poacher to justice.
A would-be poacher.
Next.
The queen that never
The
was.
queen that never was.
So fucked up.
Sir Ryman was knighted at 8 and
How
10.
many of these knights have combat experience? Beyond capturing poachers.
Damn. Damn.
Why is it such a shitty selection?
Sir Kristen Cole.
That's the dude.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
He's gotta have that one.
She already
Son of a
likes him.
steward of the Lord of Blackhill.
You saw combat in the Stormlands.
Yeah, she likes him.
Dornish marches, princess.
I do too.
I fought for a year as a foot soldier against the Dornish
That's
incursion.
tough.
I choose Sir Kristen Cole.
Let's not be too hasty, Princess.
My father should be defended by a man who's known real combat. Should he not?
I respect the fuck out of this
Of course,
girl.
Princess.
How old is she supposed to be, by the way?
I have
No
Because
clue.
I feel like they treat her like she's 15, but she looks like she's 25 at minimum.
The Valyrian capital was built into a volcano, much like Dragonstone. The Dragon Lords, the highest of the nobility, lived here, at the volcanic face, closest to the source of their magic and power. And this was the Enoglion, where the blood mages worked their craft.
Do you believe the Westeros can be another Valyria, Your Grace?
That depends whether you speak of the freehold at its height or at its fall. The glory of old Valyria will never be seen again. 7 hells.
7 hells.
I hate this so much. I don't like it.
Not a fan.
I'm sensing sex by the end of this episode, and I don't want it.
May we have discretion,
They're trying to
dear.
marry my father off and replace me as heir.
What if your father were to marry?
I guess I'm your mama.
Your father loves you.
He didn't choose me, he spurned Damon.
I don't know what building they're in, but this is amazing.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I find this is a way to be with my mother. I know it sounds foolish, because I thought you might try. If not for me, then perhaps for them.
What do I say?
Whatever you wish. It's only for you and the gods to do.
Gosh, her nails. I can't help but look at it, like, from her picking at them.
Your Grace.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I'm glad we could meet.
Might I speak plainly, Your Grace?
Oh boy.
I fear that the eyes of our enemies are presently fixed on the Red Keep. The Queen has passed. A girl has been named heir to the Iron Throne, the first in its history. The King's brother, so disinherited, has claimed the Targaryen seat on Dragonstone without challenge.
Oh shit.
And now a foreign power has established a colony in our most critical shipping lane.
You paint such an aspirant portrait of my reign.
It is an honest one, cousin.
To elude a storm, you can either sail into it or around it. But you must never await its coming.
That's facts.
Do you have a specific course
good
of action
point.
to propose, my lord?
Join our families. Where's our daughter
Let's
Lena?
go.
Unite the two
Oh,
great
little
surviving
kid.
Valyrian houses. With the Targaryen dragons and the Valarian fleet bound in blood, you can show the realm that the crown's strongest days are ahead, not behind.
Marry his little daughter to who?
To one of their kids.
I
They
must
have a
admit,
male child, I think.
Yeah.
I haven't given marriage much thought.
Oh, their
Hasn't even been
son?
half a year since Emma passed.
The realm expects you to take a new wife sooner or later.
Oh, wait a shit.
To strengthen your line and produce more heirs.
Wait, what?
Him
You
married?
could not ask
And
for
marry
a
one
stronger
of
match
the
than Lena.
dude's relatives.
Probably one of their kids? I don't know.
I feel like they're talking about the two, 12-year-olds we saw.
Or Erg.
Ah, yeah, I don't
It
know.
might be.
I don't
With this
know.
show, it's so hard to know what we're talking about. Children marrying full adults. Oh, Game of Thrones.
I loved your mother very much.
As did I. So Harold provided a fine field of tawny knights.
Nice.
Oh, it's from his finger cut.
This is our best chance to save the digit, Your Grace. The maggots will remove the and hopefully stop the advance of the rot.
Bro.
This man is just falling apart.
I forgot that he has
Lord Corlys
an infection
and
on his
Princess
back and
That
fingers.
is much
He's gonna
more
die,
always
there's no
appreciated
way.
the spirit of it.
He proposed a marriage.
To whom? Your Grace?
The Lady Lena.
The Lady Lena is young, Your Grace.
Yeah.
Indeed, but the wounds made by the Great Council still linger, my king. I do fear what Rhaenyra might think. What does it matter, Your Grace? Her mother has passed. Her father must propagate the royal line.
Yeah, that's weird though.
He's
gonna throw in his
love
daughter.
my own lady wife. The pain of her passing still haunts me. And to be compelled to replace her for duty's sake.
Yeah.
You are the king, but I do not envy you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
Truly. The only time I've agreed with this fuck so far.
Yeah. No. Are we serious? They weren't kidding.
Yeah. As soon as they said she is young, I was like, that is what they're talking about.
Oh!
Dear Lord.
Please
What was it like flying the Black Dread? You Valerian's last rider.
Only for a short time.
That's crazy.
Before he died.
That's crazy.
With Balerion died the last memory of Valeria of old.
But too large for the dragon pit.
Some would say too large for our world.
Do you know where she nests?
Why do they have to start the show after
Do you know
Balerion
where
died?
Vega is now?
They could have just gone back like a
The Dragon
decade.
Keepers
Just for a
believe she made
second.
home somewhere on the coast of the Narrow Sea.
The
Flashback.
world's a spice town brought you in her summertime. Your Grace, it would be a great honour to join our houses as they were in Old Valerian.
No!
I will give you many children of pure Valerian blood. So
No.
that we might strengthen the royal line and the realm.
No.
Is that what your father taught you to say?
No. Oh my.
What did your mother tell you?
No.
Bro, Corliss is
That I
wild
wouldn't
for
have to wed
this.
you until I turned 14.
No. 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 I can't. This is so uncomfortable. Fuck.
I hate it.
Oh.
I really hate it.
It bothers you, does it not?
Why the fuck doesn't it bother you?
It's a child. Like what?
That is.
My father is a
She's
king.
like 9.
It is his duty to take a new wife and strengthen his line.
I did not ask for a lesson in politics. I asked whether this bothers you.
Lena is your daughter, Princess. Does it bother you?
Of course it does. But I understand the order of things. I'm not sure you do.
That's cool and all. Doesn't have to be a fucking 10-year-old.
Because that is the order of things.
When I'm queen, I will create a new order.
Oh, I wish that could be Rhaenyra. But the men of the realm already had their opportunity to appoint a ruling queen at the Great Council, and they denied it.
They denied you, Princess Rhaenys.
Yeah, that's it.
Queen who never was.
Whoa!
Added the knee to me and called me heir to the throne.
Do you remind your father's
Bitch.
men of that as you carry their cups?
Damn.
More than you do.
Men would sooner put the realm to the torch than see a woman ascend the Iron Throne.
It's probably true.
That's true, but Viserys did name her.
Yeah.
And Viserys did let her be at the small council, which is where she can learn.
Yeah. Cupbearer or not, she learns.
Cupbearer,
She
yeah.
learns more than this woman's 2 kids are just fucking around, being
Yeah.
children running in the yard.
It might seem like a cupbearer, but Jon Snow
The
was
small
basically a
council
cupbearer
seems
for
to
the Lord Commander.
Seems the realm wants for new queen.
A good and kind queen will give comfort to your subjects.
This girl's gonna become the queen.
Yeah.
And I hate it.
I'm feeling it.
I hate it. Why?
Does the small council have a particular lady in mind?
Lord Corlys Balarion has offered the hand of his daughter, the Lady Lena.
A very strong match, Your Grace.
No.
Fucking
I must
bullshit.
admit,
I mean, I don't think Viserys is going to be going through with it at all.
I don't think so either.
I brought you something.
This is Otto's long play to get her to be queen. I'm telling you, it's what it is.
But sure.
I got you a Funko Pop, Your Grace.
What if Ned Stark before his head got chopped off? It's epic.
Costs so much money.
Very rare.
100 USD.
Never mind, it's a dragon Funko Pop.
I asked the stonemasons to mend it.
Your Grace, I've called the small council to an emergency session.
why?
Oh boy.
I think it best you hear it directly.
Oh boy. Shit.
Very well.
Daemon. What's he doing?
Or those pirates. It's one or the other.
Damon's leading the pirates.
Flatikio e lot ubidas. Scorpidoso.
I was gonna say it sounds like.
Whoa, what?
Dragon's egg was stolen?
Daridoros daimon.
Oh,
Sikia
no.
sida segiuseus.
He's stealing dragon
The
eggs.
prince left a missive, which I believe might explain.
Oh, he
It
left
is
it.
the pleasure of Daemon Targaryen, the Prince of Dragonstone and rightful heir to the Iron Throne,
Let's
to
go.
announce that he is to take a second wife in the tradition of old Valyria.
Yeah.
She is to assume the title Lady Missaria of Dragonstone.
Misery.
Her grace is with child, and is to have a dragon's egg placed in the bay of Kratos, and has now stolen a dangerous weapon.
Skoriodromon nuepis. Skoriodromon Daemon Leitas.
Which one?
The big one.
Valerian's.
Valerian's child.
Rodso iles. Daridoros.
Dreamfire, that's a cool name.
Daridoro belum matsumbile. Iderete encono.
Oh, shit.
Fuck.
That looks so tough.
I missed this place.
Damn.
Whoa.
Looks so good.
I like seeing the new angles of old places we know.
I'm afraid they're gonna get clapped.
The dragon's gonna eat him.
Oh,
That whole crew's getting
Look at
cars
that.
right now, bro. I'm
Look
telling
at
you.
that. Oh, there they are. Pull it up.
Let's go.
Sir Crispin, wasn't it?
Sir Kristen Cole, my prince.
Ah, yes, apologies. I couldn't recall.
Perhaps my prince recalls when I knocked him off his horse.
Oh, get shit on.
Very good.
This is a truly perplexing show, Dane. Are you so desperate for the king's attention that you've resorted to skulking about like a common cutpurse?
I'm simply keeping with the traditions of my house, the same as my brother did for his heir.
Those traditions are for the true-born children of royalty, not for bastards fathered on a common whore.
Lady Nasaria is to be my wife.
This is an abomination. With every breath you soil your name, your house, and your brother's reign.
Our love does not know titles and traditions.
You've come for the egg.
Does he have to throw it off?
Here it is.
To choose violence here is to declare war against your king.
Wonderful.
Even if it ends in the death of your unborn child and its mother.
Oh, fuck. That's not a good noise. That's not a good noise.
What was its name?
Oh, listen to
Access?
that.
It's Cyrax, I think.
No, that's Valerian's dragon.
I love it.
What
I love
a strange guttural sound, dude.
All of you, sheathe the fucking steel.
She's the fucking steel.
Was there gonna be another one? There's gonna be another one.
Or is their ship sinking?
What?
That's
is-
another one.
What is that?
That's another one.
That's yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Forgot.
Here, yeah.
Dance of Dragons.
Dude, this girl is such a fucking boss.
Que panuha ineza dritoro. Darira rosso prostas. Que su uglesa nuon zombaz mi anuhon isa.
Tubi maneri, Nike de Niklas.
A praziri ziriema.
Tretan li daor.
Se que jesit nuhon vronkron. Dromon laudigon ao belvitas.
Pipo țatru zomi mazin birovule, konier nu horuho, subtailan.
Sekilat.
Razilari Tubi.
One day. Bro, she's not having this. She doesn't want to be part of the game.
I'm right here, Uncle. The reason that you were disinherited. If you wish to be restored as heir, you'll need to kill me. So do it.
Or
Bro, she
I'm
got
done with all this bother.
She got balls, bro.
Or carry Targaryen tradition.
I don't like that idea.
Yeah, that's not.
It's definitely
I know.
most likely scenario.
I know.
Good toss.
Let's go. Rainies. It's Rainies, right?
Rhaenyra.
Rhaenyra?
Rhaenyra. I mean, Otto almost fucked that one up, so.
Oh, really? It's almost like I said he was going to fuck it up. Because he's a fucking loser.
Now, what is waifu gonna say about this? Or second wife?
I'm
I
out.
don't want to be your chess piece.
This was supposed to be our wedding.
Yeah, she probably doesn't want to be a pawn in the game anymore.
Where is the Stannis sex table, damn it?
The big sex table.
This is unacceptable.
Unacceptable.
This is not the Dragonstone I know.
I reject this Dragonstone.
I didn't come into your service wanting gold, the power, the station. I came to you to be liberated.
Liberated? From what?
Fear.
Daemon of the common people.
Really like this Funko Pop.
Such a good design.
How the hell did she find this?
It's a 1 in 1,000 model.
I have come looking for an unencumbered opinion.
That's all I would ever give, Your Grace.
Yeah, we know.
Since my name was read by the Archmaesters at the Great Council.
Lord Corlys is your master of ships, and she is the eldest daughter of the wealthiest house in the realm. She comes from unimpeachable Valyrian stock, and she has Targaryen blood. What's to mislike?
She's 12.
Yeah.
She will mature.
Shut up. Oh god.
What if I was to reject Lord Corlys' proposal?
He would not be like to take it well, and the Sea Snake holds claim to nearly half the realm's ships.
He would not dare withhold them in the face of the realm's need.
He probably would.
Who is he to act to me?
No one, Your Grace. The Sea Snake has made a calculated reach, fair play for a man of his position. If you truly want my unencumbered opinion...
I do.
You should wed Lady Velaryon, Your Grace.
God!
And fix him at your side.
Please bring
Your
good
Grace.
news. Good news.
The princess has returned from Dragonstone.
Yeah.
Dragonstone?
He's like, what?
Man, maybe we go to war against Corlys now that Daemon might be on our side, maybe?
I don't think Daemon's on our side yet, but...
Daemon's just on Rhaenyra's side, he's not on the king's side.
Your Grace.
Daemon's on his own side.
We went to Dragonstone.
And retrieve the egg without bloodshed. A feat I'm not sure Sir Otto could have accomplished alone.
Nope.
I sometimes forget how alike you both were. I could never replace your mother. No more than I intend to replace you as heir. But you are my only heir. And our line is vulnerable. Too easily ended.
I have no clue what we're gonna do with this. I'm just like...
Against whom?
I feel like we're still at square one.
Just as I do.
Why don't they just marry her? Is that not a problem?
To Viserys?
No.
What?
Oh my god.
Bro.
No,
what are you saying?
All I'm saying is Viserys and her, or Daemon and her. It's all I can think.
Well,
I
why
just don't know
can't...
any escape
There was
from
like
that.
an older brother to the 12-year-old girl. Why doesn't that kid marry Rhaenyra?
I thought there was other Targaryens too, just in other lineages.
But
that
this
are
guy
still
has the
alive.
boats.
And he's the richest.
And he's the richest. And he's got boats.
Bro, he's a snake.
Who?
This guy, Corlys.
I know.
He's a snake.
Literally, he's a sea snake. That's what they say.
Yeah. He's the one who's brought this creepiness into the show, and then he ditched out, and everybody else has had to deal with it.
They broke my boats. Can you marry my child?
Daughter, please.
My lords.
Creepy ass.
Ugh.
I have decided to take a new wife.
Oh shit.
What's her face is in the room too.
Yeah, I was gonna say Otto's kid is in the room.
Yeah,
It's gonna
he's
be
gonna
her.
pick her.
Somebody's gonna kill him if that's the case. If he doesn't die himself.
Rhaenyra's gonna be like, bro, what the fuck?
No way.
I intend to marry.
I can't.
She's like, what?
To Lady Alicent Hightower.
God damn it. Come on, bro. he's pissed.
This is an absurdity.
You don't want to marry my 12-year-old.
Your daughter's 8.
The great
Fuck you.
And I am your king.
Oh, yeah. Respect. I don't know how old the Hightower girl is, but I guess kind of respect until I know Hightower's age.
Better than the 12-year-old, I guess. I mean, I don't know.
Bro, why are these the choices we have
I
in
don't,
this show?
I don't think any of the choices would have been good, but this one was slightly better.
Is Rhaenyra pissed?
Does she feel betrayed?
No, she's kind of like, damn, you're my mom now.
You're my stepmom now, bro.
Hey, Will, I'm your daddy.
I'm your stepdad, bro.
I'm your daddy now.
Oh, she's out too.
Yeah, nah, she said fuck this.
Love it. Everybody conceded, like, sure, marry the 12-year-old. That's fine, I guess.
Dude, but they got so much money.
House Valarian's origins reach back to old Valyria. More ancient even than House Targaryen.
Damn.
But unlike the Targaryens, we were no dragon lords. When I ascended the Driftwood throne,
The Driftwood throne is crazy.
unlike every other lord of the realm, I can say that I built my house's high seat with the strength of mine own back.
Who the fuck is he talking to?
I've always thought of you and I as having been made from the same cloth.
Was it Damon? Is he talking to Damon?
Looks like he's got himself a navy
I
now.
had a king for a brother. We're both men who have had to cut our own way through the world. We've been passed over too often.
Fuck. Is he gonna ask him to marry his 12-year-old?
You've heard of the troubles in his stepstones.
Oh, they're tying people down and letting the crabs eat them.
sailors to the crabs.
What if Corlys is
I have
the
been
crab
petitioning the
pirate?
king to send my navy into the territory,
Unless.
but he's denied me.
It was never my brother's strongest trait.
What?
Being king.
The Crab Feeder is backed by powerful entities within the Free Cities who wish to see Westeros weakened. And the king's failures have allowed him to accumulate strength. I will not have Driftmark beggared while our king idles himself with feasts and balls and tourneys.
I will speak of my brother as I wish. You will not.
Facts. I appreciate that respect.
We are the realm's second sons, Damon. Our worth is not given. It must be made.
Damn straight. I love ambition.
Whoa.
Whoa. It's like
Are they fish people?
Oh.
Yo. What is that?
I don't know.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Hey, yo.
What the fuck?
You look rusty as shit.
Stupid up.
Well, that was episode 2 of House of the Dragon, y'alls.
Yeah.
Super uncomfortable, if I may say so myself.
Yeah.
Oh.
Welcome back, me.
Yeah, welcome back to
First video back, big guy.
the creepy,
Oh my gosh,
the creepy incest of the medieval times / J.R.R. Martin's world.
J.R.R. Martin.
Nice. That's not it.
I know.
Yeah.
J.
C.S. Martin Lawrence.
C.S. Martin Lewis.
I don't know how we're gonna have this post talk without just feeling super uncomfortable. If I'm being completely honest, the whole time watching this episode, personally, I was thinking back to Game of Thrones episode 2, just like comparing the paces. That's my immediate thought. I was thinking just because, like, obviously I wasn't here for the first episode, but the first episode was such a shot back into the world. It was so like fast paced. Obviously, this one was a lot slower.
Yeah,
There was a lot of things that had to like kind of manifest or play out for us to get to what will probably be more exciting material in the later chapters, and that's common for Game of Thrones sometimes. But man, I didn't think so early would they go to such interesting plot points for the story.
The issue is of the heir, and the succession line, which is always the most important thing for these people.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, think about it, like, Joffrey and Tommen, no sooner were they king, were they getting married off, even when they were 17 and 16 or whatever, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess, spoiler, I guess I should, for anyone, I don't know why you haven't watched Game of Thrones if you're watching this post-talk yet, but, I mean, the Tyrion wedding to Sansa, which never happened, but was like a very slight plot point that they didn't really spend a whole lot of time on in season 3. It was kind of like introduced, but like very quickly, it was very
It was more so the slight
Tyrion.
Stark.
Yeah.
Well, and Tyrion.
Yeah.
Both Rob and Tyrion.
And then, I guess, you're right with Tommen. Like, I guess most people kind of... I feel like that was never really talked about super often with, like, Game of Thrones. The fact that Tommen was technically a super little kid with Marjorie, Tyrell. But, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they don't really touch on it too much.
Weren't we struggling to think of her name the other week? We
were like, Marjorie.
And the one kid
I couldn't remember the last name, the Tyrells. That's what I was struggling with. Yeah,
Tyrells and Tarleys. My family always gets confused.
Yeah, that's fair though, because
well, that's why I said it was like Tarley. I'm like, no, that's Sam.
Yeah. And just like overall, just like how I felt from this one is like in comparison, like I was saying, to the second episode of Game of Thrones. I think the second episode of Game of Thrones helped bring me into the world more because I had a hatred for Cersei so much in the second episode because of the dog scenes, and that like fueled me to want to see like what would happen to her as I continued. Where this, it was like instead of like a hatred driving me, it's like there's disgust pulling me away, and I was just like, bro, why does this have to be the second episode that we're covering this material?
And it goes on for the whole episode. It's not resolved.
Like how
the very, very end.
Yeah, how I felt, and this was a pretty quiet reaction, all things considered, which is fine. That's just what it is. But this was like unbowed, unbent, unbroken episode for Game of Thrones with Sansa and Ramsay. Like just like I just feel like all right, here we are.
Yeah,
here we are.
It's just wild, like, people in A, those positions, but B, like, that time frame, because in human history, that wasn't super uncommon back in those days. Still wrong, regardless, but that's what they did. But you could even tell, like, even if it was relatively okay for the time, Viserys was still like, no, I don't really feel good about this.
Yeah.
I mean, think about what's his face, the twins. Fuck, what's his name? Walder Frey.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he had mad young wives.
Yeah.
Constantly. So, you know, it's not like it's uncommon, but it's just weird. But it does feel like a weird place to begin, like, the second episode. Because other than that and the egg, that was really the only... And the crab feeders. That was, like, the only thing that really happened to this whole episode.
The driving force. Yeah, a lot of... It was very slow, like, in terms of, like, what material we've, like, progressed through, as opposed to where we left off in episode 1.
Yeah.
Episode 1 was, like, just a funnel of info. And honestly, I think a year passed in between this episode and this
6 months.
The first months. Okay.
They said
half a year.
They said Daemon had Dragonstone for 6 months.
Okay, yeah, that was the time frame. And people, I feel like Otto had a little bit of a bigger beard. I think they like added some effects to some of the characters just to give some age.
Some time frame. Yeah.
I like something that you said. You were like, this episode feels like everything is like gone forward and then immediately taking a step back or something. Like they tried to push.
We're still in square one.
Yeah, we're still in square one basically. Yeah.
Yeah, like just in terms of, and mostly I was comparing it off of the first episode too, because They give you the time frame. They shoot you into it. And everything's rather fast-paced camera work-wise as well. There's just a lot of stuff happening. You're meeting all these characters.
Yeah.
Also, personally, Damon is kind of one of those people that just forces you through a story, where he kind of took a backseat this episode. So we got to spend a little bit more time with more of this sane characters. And deal with, like, I guess, yeah, like you said, like a situation that would occur. I'd be curious to know what the demeanor of people would be like back in the day, though, as opposed to this show, which is like the characters struggling with this situation. Like, because it was commonplace back in the day and still commonplace in other parts of the world, would they have had such a trouble as they did in this show? Like Viserys, what I will give at least props to for the king in this episode, which has kind of been his thing throughout the show, is that he's been more hesitant when it comes to ancient ritualistic styles of life. Like, he was very, like, but she's 12.
Yeah.
Which is like, okay, well, how would that compare to kings of old? Which I don't know how much that would be like a consideration.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say that it was necessarily commonplace, like it was always happening, but it was more, it wasn't illegal. Like in the U.S. today, it is illegal to do that. Like you really, maybe in some places it isn't. I don't know, but it isn't okay by today's standards. I think today it was probably like, who knows? Maybe back then it was like, we do it out of necessity. Not really something we're super happy with, but I mean,
yeah, that's how they were portraying it here, though. Like, yeah, you don't like it. She's 12.
Mom doesn't like it.
Yeah,
like,
but the connection to the family will give you fuckloads of money, boats, army.
Boats, army, peace, stability. Children.
Corliss and his wife are the rats of the episode.
They are critters, bro.
Like, everybody has some fault with this situation, but just the parents being the ones to do that.
Yeah, you got Otto trying to play matchmaker with his daughter and the king. Like, then you got them playing matchmaker with their daughter, who's very much a small child.
And I guess it's just the time frame in which that's why we're under such pressure, because like with Ned back in season 1 of Game of Thrones, it was like, here is my daughter Sansa, Joffrey, this will be a thing that comes to fruition eventually. But where I guess this is like Viserys doesn't have a queen and doesn't have a male heir to inherit, so that's the point of the rush.
And it's been 6 months since the first episode.
It's also he keeps getting infections and like his finger is like dead.
Yeah,
I mean his finger literally looked like it had completely rotted. His back has that infection. Like, you know, in reality, Viserys could die at any moment, and the fact that Daemon is a loose cannon and gone, which is funny because it doesn't seem too much that like Daemon would kill his brother. Like it just doesn't. Even though the council keeps trying to portray Daemon as this, I feel like Daemon is not really for that.
Yeah, I think he's pretty loyal. Weirdly enough, I think he's like, if I had to take a guess, is that he likes the Targaryen lineage to stay alive. And I don't know if he'd be the type to kill his brother. I'm not sure about that.
It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't seem it. The fact that he was like, the fact that in front of. How do you say his name?
Corliss, I think.
The fact that in front of him he was like, I can shit talk my brother, you're not allowed to do that. So don't ever talk about the kid that way again. Like, to me, I'm like, anybody else.
But I like that a lot.
I do. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm saying that if it was like Cersei, for example, she would be like, yeah, fuck Robert Baratheon, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Oh, you think fuck Robert? Fuck Robert.
Fuck Robert, bro.
Oh, fuck Robert. Yeah. Like that's what Cersei would have been like. Yeah. So, and she would be willing to, and was, to kill anybody that was in her way, truly.
For sure.
Except for maybe her dad and Jaime.
Yeah. Those were the only two.
And even Jaime, she was willing to. She was close, but then
Joffrey too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she was close to Jaime, but it was a bluff, I think.
Yeah, it was definitely a bluff. But I don't think like Daemon is at that level of doing that, which kind of makes things.
Which is wild. Like, yeah, it's just, I just haven't gotten that vibe from him yet.
Yeah.
Though he did throw some shade at that little baby.
Oh yeah,
the most disrespectful line in the show.
I think he's only loyal to his brother. Everyone else, it's like very hit or miss. Like it's either.
I think he respects Rhaenyra too.
Yes, her too.
The whole like, well, kill me right now. You solve this whole heir to the throne problem right now. And he was like, checkmate. Fine. Here's the fucking
stupid egg.
We have the crabbers.
The crab feeders, yes.
Doesn't seem like it's Daemon. Doesn't seem like it's Corlys, obviously now, because they are the ones now in private talking about wanting to go after them. Yeah. I'm not super familiar with the Driftwood throne or any of that. The Valerians are actually a rather new family that I've not been too aware of as far as the lore.
Yeah, I mean, the way he said it is that his family has an older lineage to Valyria than even the Targaryens, but they weren't common people, but they were, lords of the sea. They weren't necessarily like dragon lords like the Targaryens.
Yeah. So I guess they were just one of the people groups that came with the Targaryens across the sea during the prophecy.
Eventually,
yeah.
So his family and his house survives off of the sea and trading, I'm guessing. And basically these pirates are really fucking with the trade routes and everything, especially since now they're colonizing where the trade routes are going through. So because the shipping lanes are in danger, it basically means his house and his house's wealth is in danger too. So the king not doing anything is what is also forcing his hand on like coming to Daemon. But in the beginning of the episode, he is also trying to make a play. Like, him and, the queen that never was. Like,
so disrespectful.
Yeah, I'm just calling her that from now on.
That's
because you were willing to marry off.
She's kind of annoying. I was thinking I was going to like her and him personally, but,
yeah. The willingness to throw their child in for their family. And I get it. And the idea of it is for the long term, like, getting your family to where they need to be, but that's a wild sacrifice to do.
Also, she kind of has the same mindset as Rhaenyra's mom, where it's like the woman must know her place and not overextend herself. I feel like it's kind of exactly what she was saying when she was talking to her, like on that balcony.
Yeah, it's because she got burned by the fact that she had a strong claim to the throne and didn't take it. It wasn't given.
The men would rather let the kingdom fall apart.
They would rather put the kingdom to the torch than let a woman rule everything.
Yeah, which is nuts to me.
Yeah,
which is interesting. I'm not too familiar with I know this book is like the book House of Blood covers most of the story from like a third person perspective, but as far as Game of Thrones, I'm not too sure if like Rhaenyra, if she ever claims the throne.
I have no idea. I don't know,
because you would have thought there would be a quote in Game of Thrones about her rule, from Daenerys or someone.
I mean, in fairness, I think the books that have come out are like relatively newer than the older. Like the Fire and Blood one, I think is relatively newer.
Yeah.
And so. It seems like that's what's going on. The only thing that doesn't make sense to me, sorry, just kind of bouncing back to the episode with Corlys is so last episode he said he wanted to give his wife be the heir. You know what I mean? He threw her hat in the ring at the council, and so she has a strong claim to the throne. And now so does Daemon. So now they're teaming up, which to me, I'm just going to end up, like, in this relationship, like, if Daemon goes and defeats the crab feeders, to me, it's just going to end up backfiring on them again, because they're going to argue over who has a better claim to the throne when Viserys dies. So then it's going to be Rhaenyra, Daemon, and the queen that never was in their family.
Well, like I said, I'm not too familiar with the Valerians, and they're not around.
Yeah, no. I mean, they're not around in the show.
In the new material.
Yeah. I would imagine they get axed out of the kingdom,
or someone sees fit to not let them, uses them to a fault. Yeah. Maybe takes his naval fleet, because Daemon is lacking in that. That's one thing they made it very well known in the first episode, that he's a person for the common folk and the common folk only.
Yeah.
He's got the love of the brothels and
his soldiers.
The soldiers and potentially the common folk just for the fact that he's castrating rapists, killing murderers, and cutting off the hand of thieves, something like that.
Yeah.
Which, as extreme as it could be, some people might like in King's Landing, because King's Landing's kind of
a town of scoundrels.
It is called Flea Bottom,
the seedy underbelly of the country.
Yeah, and on Damon, and speaking on like all this like trying to make the children marry these adults. One thing I do like about Damon is he's kind of just like setting his own like path straight. Like I like the idea, like even though it just won't work with this system, like that he chooses a wife of his own. Even though they think it's a disgrace, well, he doesn't really think of it that way.
Yeah, he's taking the opportunity to view like a whore as a person, like not as just like property or not like worse than scum. It's like no, she's like another person that I care about or I like.
Which is very Tyrion-esque too, because he did like the exact same thing.
Yeah, I do. Tyrion. I got a lot of vibes of Tyrion and Shay. Except this lady was not as annoying personally as Shay, and we had to deal with Shay for 3 seasons. Or
I can't figure out this girl's accent too.
It feels like it changes each word.
Like sometimes she sounds Jamaican, and I'm like, that's weird, and then she sounds like something completely different. What the fuck?
And her name's Miseria.
Miseria,
and I know that she's called Misery. Okay. Don't know how far that will go.
Yeah.
Just because it also didn't seem like she was too pleased with Damon, and I don't know. It's hard to read Damon personally, like where his heart is at. Is he taking her talk about freedom for smaller folk to heart? Does he even care about that at the end of the day?
Yeah.
Like you're saying, like seems like he's more of just a family guy at the end of the day, a Targaryen guy, but who knows? Maybe he can play the small folk as fools. I'm not sure.
Yeah. And ultimately, the decision for who was queen at the end of the day, after much deliberation, like Viserys got the offer initially from Corlys and his wife, the queen that never was. He then met with the girl to talk about, they did the like walk through the garden with the kid, which was insane. She gave like the speaking points, and he was like, "Did your dad tell you to say that?" And he was like. That he goes, "What about your mother? Like, what did your mom say?" And then he was just like disgusted with like even the thought process of it. Like, I can't do this. And then he basically went to everyone else on the council, the Grand Maester, Otto,
that other dude,
the other dude that he met late at night, and they all kind of gave different opinions, but kind of leaning towards like take the deal.
Yeah.
And in the background, Otto was more so playing the game of, like, stay close to the king. I mean, he was smart. Like, it doesn't seem like she ever... Alicent, right? Alicent Hightower. It doesn't seem like she ever slept with the king, which is good. I was really afraid in that first episode he was just going to, like... slut out his daughter to the king.
But that seems like...
That's what I thought was going to happen, too.
But it seems like it was more like a long play, like, hey, like, get to know him, be friendly,
nice
look pretty, all that stuff, go see him tonight.
And even that, like, just on the intentions of people, it's so hard to know to even read Hightower, because personally, he doesn't seem like somebody ambitious for personal gain. It seems like he's a person who cares for the realm. So, like, is this because he just happens to have a daughter, and it will benefit the realm to have somebody more stable than Daemon?
But he is playing very schemey wise. Like,
for sure.
Like,
for sure.
So
did Varys, but he cared for the realm.
That is true, but Varys, I will say Viserys, out of all of the... everyone between Robert and Cersei... Yeah. Like, Joffrey and Tommen, like, they were kids. They shouldn't have been on the throne. They didn't know what the fuck they were doing. Mm-hmm. So Varys running around and doing his little things, like, it's like, okay, like, he can have his own little, like, secret cabal of people that he does stuff with. Whereas, like, Viserys, as much as he's kind of like a shit king, he does a better job and is more coherent to, like, taking the word of someone else.
Yeah.
And Otto Hightower doesn't really have anyone to scheme with. It's like he's really just playing what's in his own hand. Like he doesn't have much to play with other than his daughter, but he's using her in the best way that he can in this moment.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see how that develops. Once again, I'm not too familiar with the Hightowers. I'm familiar with their name, but like once again, they don't play a role in the more updated things that I'm familiar with.
Do you know where they're like who they fall under?
Hightower.
Like who are they vassals of?
Honestly, probably. You know what? I think there's a Hightower, a part of the Tower of Joy scene. I think one of those guys might be a Hightower. I think it's Arthur Dane and the other guy who gets killed.
He is a Hightower.
So it's probably just Targaryens. Probably just a Targaryen group in general.
Yeah. I just didn't know if they like fell under. I mean, like they're definitely not they're not Dornish. They're not from the north. You know, I don't know if they're like the Vale or something. You know, because most of those smaller houses, they're vassals to one of the major seven.
And this show has already been touching on a bunch of smaller clans that have not been touched in the other series. Like I think today we got the Malistrate or something like that, which I've never heard of, but I'm familiar with from like the song of the World of Ice and Fire book that I've heard before once or twice. And then Dondarrion, like the one guy is Kristen Cole.
Kristen Cole is a steward of the house. That's one thing we fucked up in that last.
I thought he was the son of a Dondarrion, but he's just knighted by a Dondarrion.
No, he's not a bastard. Yeah, he is a steward of the Dondarrion house, but he is Dornish.
Okay.
So I don't know how he fits into how he became a part of the family. Yeah. Not part of the family, but part of the house, and like fit in that. Of course, in the moment we talked over in the recording when they were like, oh, he's Dornish, and we were like, oh, is he a Dondarrion?
I was like, dude, I like that guy from the old show. Beric was cool.
A Dondarrion Dornishman. That would be interesting. Yeah. Where's the eye patch? Apparently there was a flayed man. My brother said he saw a flayed man at the tournament.
Yeah, I was losing my shit. I was like, let's go.
Yeah, there was a lot of...
Rickard Stark or some Stark.
He was Rickard.
Rickard Stark.
Yeah.
He looked so mad. He was such an angry looking guy.
He was old, too.
He was really old.
I was personally happy that the Baratheons made a quick appearance, and they did say that there's, blood ties to the Targaryens.
I think the Baratheon that fought in that fight, I think he was supposed to be cousin to the queen that never was.
Yeah. I think, there's Baratheons married into that part of the family. But that's cool because I don't think in Game of Thrones they ever mentioned that Robert is, technically blood relatives to the Targaryens, and that's, the whole reason he ever had a claim to the throne after Robert's rebellion. He was, 1/6 or 1/13, and he was like, it's good enough. And all the people were like, yeah, sure, all right, that works for me. Close enough.
Yeah. Because there was a moment too. Because don't they talk about where Ned kind of had a shot at being the way it lined up, or Ned and also Tywin, just by the way it lined up, whoever got there first. You know what I mean? To the throne room.
Sit on the throne.
But they were like, Robert, all you, bro. Or Ned was like, Robert, it's all you, man.
Well, that's the thing. At that point, they were basically like, we don't want a Targaryen. As long as it's not a Targaryen, we'll see what the outcome is. And that's why, that's why Cersei, I think, was pissed off at Jaime too. Jaime could have probably even gone up as a Kingsguard, but Kingslayer. So, nope.
Yeah.
I liked our young Targaryen lady, the little daughter today.
Rhaenyra.
That's gonna be a hard one for me. Rhaenyra.
Yeah.
I liked her moments in this episode, just between the going to the Sept, which I don't think is the Sept of Baelor, probably one that's
it's
there
just
before.
a Sept, yeah.
A Sept. I like that moment, her being introduced to this ritual that Miss Hightower goes through for her connection to her mother, and how that's her finding her peace with her mom, because it seems very likely that this family wasn't super emotionally connected, but more king, daughter, queen.
Yeah.
Which you even saw the dinner table with Viserys. There was almost a moment about I loved your mother. Hey, so there's this guy who's the knight. Back to the little
back to
whims, back to work talk. And that's, I like the actors they chose for the show.
Yeah,
that's
the
one thing
actors
I want to
are good.
say. I like the actors they have for this show. I think they're pretty convincing right off the bat, which is nice. I also like that I'm not really familiar with any of their faces.
Yeah.
I think that's nice. I mean, Matt Smith is the only one I'm pretty, like, I recognize from It's Morbin Time.
It's Morbin Time.
And I know he's one of the Doctor Who's.
Yeah.
And Kurt Connors is Otto Hightower, the lizard.
The lizard. From Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like all their performances. They do a really good job. It's really funny, Rhaenyra. I don't know. I can't. There's someone from my childhood that she reminds me of, and a little bit of personality, but looks too.
She reminds me of me. She reminds me of somebody from my childhood too. And
Yeah.
I can't figure out who it is. Also, she definitely does not look 15.
Yeah, I mean
that I could level with the Daenerys actress Emilia Clarke maybe passing for 17 in season 1, maybe, but there's no way.
I want to look up the actress.
Maybe it's just she has a piercing face.
Not
to
hernia.
me. Hernia. That's a hernia. Will.
He did look up Rhaenyra, to be fair. Then some reason hernia came up.
Because I don't know how to spell it, but
yeah, there was a day that Siri never understood anything I said, but she understood Stannis Baratheon for some stupid.
She's 22.
That's because it's the one true king.
She's 22 in real life.
Okay.
IRL.
IRL.
What's her name?
Millie Alcock. Bro,
say that last name again.
Alcock.
Nice.
Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah, Represent.
I'm not dapping you up for that.
You like me. Speaking of no cock, my boy Damien.
Yeah.
Damien.
That was a cool shot with him and that just the confrontation. I like the visuals for Dragonstone.
Oh yeah, the dragons are awesome in this too.
Yeah. Also, we got a look of Valeria today, like in like little small format. It's the first time we've ever seen a visual representation, and it looked like Dragonstone. I thought it was Dragonstone until they said it was Valeria because they had those like arches that they showed in the intro. So we got an intro.
The intro is cool.
That was cool.
Yeah. So it's supposed to be that like castle palace.
Yeah.
Or city, just like his
model.
His model. Yeah.
And that's cool. I really hope for this show if there's like flashback material that maybe we could see some of Valeria if they referenced it again. I know Game of Thrones never really did too much flashback other than Bran. It just wasn't one of those shows that did that. But maybe if we could get some of that would be cool. I would like to see Balerion, the Black Dread. We were very few years shy of getting to see that in live action.
That's crazy. So Viserys was the last rider, or the last one that rode Balerion.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That's crazy how
really wish we saw that.
What did you say?
I really wish we saw that. Funny enough, before they said it in this episode, I saw it on one of those Game of Facts things on Instagram. I was like, that's sick. Because they showed the picture of him from episode 1.
It's wild that, I don't know, I kind of forget how, relatively young the story of Game of Thrones is. Not, in real life, George R.R. Martin wrote it and, whatever.
Year.
I just mean, that it's only, in the story of the Seven Kingdoms with House Targaryen and, what we really focus on and know is only, 300 years or something like that. It's not that old.
Yeah.
So, because in the modern Game of Thrones times, it's magic's dead, none of this shit's real, dragons are all dead, this is all lame.
No one believes in the old gods.
No one believes in anything. But
how do we possibly think dragons don't exist after only 172 years?
Yeah.
Because you haven't seen them.
Season 1's you would think it's a dinosaur. You're not sure. We have evidence, but other than that, most people don't believe it. Unless
you're under the keep and you see that the giant bones and everything. What is it? Syrax and Varaxes? Syrax
something like that. I mean, they're all just out and about.
Yeah.
Each episode so far.
Yeah.
And I think there's plenty more. I think
they also have 50 egg keepers or something.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, I'm pretty sure the queen that never was should have one. I'm pretty sure both the children have one.
Yeah.
Her children have one.
Yeah, they do.
And I think there's supposed to be a bunch that don't have any rulers with them yet. Just little babies. Maybe that's what the egg is. Maybe. Okay.
It said they had 50 dragon egg keepers.
Can I do my dragon impression? I fell asleep. Okay.
Bro's better. You better your cars real quick. Hold on.
Didn't happen. No one called it. But regardless, do you think there's gonna be jump forwards? Because one of my siblings was also saying this might be one of those shows where they do time jumps.
I mean, we got one already. 6 months, but you think like significant?
Like, maybe like we kill the pirate lord in the next episode, and we get married in the next episode. Jump 5 years or 10 years to see a progress of children for the Targaryens.
I think I could see that a little bit, just because, especially too, since like the other than those 2 kids, most of the cast is like adults.
Yeah.
So it's like,
and it's pretty small. It's an intimate cast, and it hasn't grown yet.
Yeah, so like they could jump forward a little bit, but I don't know. I'd be curious. I mean, it seems like this is going to gear up to some type of war where Viserys dies, and the remaining Targaryen, possible heirs duke it out for who's taking the throne.
Yeah.
Which is good that we don't know who it is. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you guys know. So
no,
I've not read anything about this.
I've read up into the history of like the first 2 pages in that book, and it basically covers everything from episode 1.
Yeah.
And that's about it. Other than, like I said, the girl from Lys, Daemon's girl, is called the White Worm / Misery, and that he fancied her. But that's the thing. Like, I don't know.
The White Worm.
I'm pretty sure she's called that because her skin and complexion is supposed to be whiter than girls from Lys, so she was called the White Worm. Yeah. She's also wearing white garb, so maybe that's the show's direction for it.
She's slender,
like a worm.
Like a worm.
I think Corlys is the White Worm. He's got beautiful dreads that are white, and he's a worm.
He is a worm.
I like him. He looks cool. I will say he looks pretty badass. He looks pretty badass.
I love everyone's like looks, costumes in the show. Yeah. They're all really good.
And I'm not really sure where the show's gonna go.
Me neither.
I would prefer it to be a bigger cast, because right now it just feels like Game of Thrones King's Landing story, where we're like we were used to the Riverlands or like the North beyond with Jon, Arya
and Squid Island.
Arya and her cat. I think once we get to that war, I think that's probably when things will expand more.
Yeah.
And who knows? Like, if Rhaenyra, if shit happens and Rhaenyra takes over dragons, like, if we get a little bit of a time jump and she's old enough to have dragons, or what is it, Dragonstone? I'm just calling it
Dragon's Reach.
But if she gets Dragonstone, like, she can be there, and she has her own plot of what's going on, and then maybe whoever's the king or whatever's at war, who knows? We got a lot going on. Free cities are in play. We haven't even really met them, and the crab feeders too.
Yeah.
Crab feeder. I'm so excited for crab feeders.
So the crab feeders supposed to be like a creature, or they're like
I
think it's a person.
they're just like pirate terrorists.
But did you see their face? That didn't look like a face.
Was that a mask?
It didn't look like a mask. It looked like it was attached.
There was that, and also the other torturers had like guards of metal nailed into their skin, bolted into their skin like orcs from Mordor.
So we got borderland psychopaths running around.
Literally, they look like the orcs that have to seal up. Bolg's son.
Mm-hmm. Bolg.
Oh no, Bolg is the son.
Bolg is the
Azog's son. Bolg, who has his giant brain held together by metal shards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like they're gonna die next episode.
No, I think they're gonna be a big problem for the rest of the show.
It's Euron. He was always here.
Euron. And his golden
massive cock. Got nothing else on that department. I say we end on Euron's massive cock.
Massive cock.
Guys, if you've made it this far, let us know your thoughts on episode 2. If you're a book reader, don't let us know your thoughts. What do you think will happen? Who is the Crab Lord? What will happen between Corlys and Daemon? Who will take the Iron Throne at the end of this? Other than Daenerys Targaryen or Jon Snow, we'll see you next week. Punch it! Bow!